Just baseball show for Thursday, July 11th. We are counting down the days. We've got 5 more days of Major League Baseball until everybody goes on hiatus for a little bit. 8 guys are going to swing as hard as they can for 40 swings, maximum 40 swings. I don't know. We still have a couple days to dive into the rules, and then a couple of other guys are going to throw as hard as they possibly can for an inning, and then they have 3 days off. But they're only gone for like 5 days. So enjoy the All-Star break. Jack, Peter, Just Baseball Show. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to go bouncing around some headlines. Bobby Miller optioned by the LA Dodgers. You've got some notes on the Tigers. I've got a note on the Rays that I find fascinating. I'm going to play a game with you that you don't know is happening yet. And then we're drafting again because it's fun. It's really fun. And we're drafting non-all-star pitchers. We're building a staff of 5 starters and 4 relievers that were not named to the all-star game. And Hunter Green doesn't count because he's an all-star. Congratulations to him. But Peter Apple, who's it all brought to you by?
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Remember, folks, we're going to download BetMGM on iOS or Android. And when we do, we're going to use promo code JustBaseball. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if it loses. So what does that mean? Well, when you place the wager after putting in that referral code and it loses, you get all of that back up to 1,500 US American dollars back in bonus bets. And if it wins, congratulations, you won a bet. I'd like to win some bets. So make sure, use promo code JustBaseball on BetMGM. But remember, gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. I want to applaud you for that intro, Jack. We got a lot to talk about, and you had to go through a lot of topics really quick.
That's fine. I appreciate that. You know what? Now that I have it, like all thanks to Microsoft OneNote, again, sponsor, Microsoft OneNote. Come on, this is a layup. But I love Microsoft OneNote, and I've got it all in front of me, so I can kind of rattle off our topics. One crappy topic that we have to address, and like kind of there was news about a former Rays shortstop, per Juan Arturo Recio, Wander Franco, formerly charged by Dominican authorities for the crimes of sexual abuse and sexual exploitation against a minor. Through a press release, Dominican authorities indicate that in addition to the crimes of sexual abuse and sexual exploitation against a minor, Wander Franco is being accused of human trafficking. This crime has penalties up to 20 years in prison. Jeff Passan, about an hour ago, we're recording at 5:30 on Wednesday. Rays shortstop Wander Franco has been placed on the restricted list. Sources tell ESPN. Previously, he was on administrative leave with charges filed against Franco. Admin leave ended, and Rays requested a shift to the restricted list for failure to report. MLB acceded. The move of Wander Franco to the restricted list is not a disciplinary action or reflection of the sexual abuse, sexual exploitations against a minor, or human trafficking charges themselves. Any MLB discipline would come after the court case is done. Mark Topkin had that news first on the transaction. He's like, there's no opinion, there's no take here. He's a scumbag, and these are horrible, horrible charges. And I don't know what justice looks like. I hope we see justice served, and that's about that. Like you made a good point. Like it'd be weird if we didn't address it, but this is like really all I feel like we're, able to do is just read you what's been put out by journalists and reporters and then move on.
We started this podcast with the goal in mind to focus on what is on the field. None of us claim to be lawyers. We don't know the justice system very well. When we hear these reports, we're going to tell you them, and then we are going to move on. Bottom line, that's what we do here on the Just Baseball Show. So Wander Franco, clearly a scum, and will never be back in Major League Baseball. So forget he ever existed. End of story.
Yeah, I mean, good thing he's not going to be back in Major League Baseball. And again, hope justice is served in this case. I want to jump to actual baseball conversation with respectable human beings. And unfortunately, bad news for a young Dodger right-hander who we both had the chance to meet briefly and was a very nice guy. Bobby Miller
awesome.
Was optioned.
By the way, dude was great. Dude's the
man.
He
was great.
Love Bobby
He was
Miller.
great, but Bobby was struggling, and Bobby Miller was dealing with some injury, and he came back, and he just didn't look right. So the official move from the Dodgers was Bobby Miller optioned to Oklahoma City. I think Ricky Vanasco was the corresponding move. They can kind of do the Yarbrough thing if they want. But Bobby Miller through 7 starts with the Dodgers this year, an 8.07 ERA, 29 innings, 26 earned runs, a whip at 1.83. Who's punching out 8.5 per nine, walking 5.5 per nine, and opponents had a 938 OPS against him. 29 innings, opponents were slashing 304, 398, 539. It's tough because he's dealt with injury this year, and you don't know how healthy he is. But this is, when he's right, one of the more talented young arms in baseball, and I think everybody understood that after last year when he threw over 120 innings. I'm hoping that Bobby just gets right, and this is more of like a James Outman situation where Outman goes down, rakes, comes up, has confidence, and he's back in the lineup. I hope Bobby Miller goes down, shoves for 4 or 5 starts, comes back, and he's back in the rotation fully. But it hasn't been a good start to the year for Bobby Miller, point blank.
Point blank. And I looked further into it because I wasn't exactly sure why Bobby Miller went down. I didn't know if the shoulder injury that he dealt with for 2 months flared back up again. I didn't know if it was because of his just bad performances, right? His last start against the Phillies, he gave up 8 earned runs, and now his ERA is up to 8. I didn't know if it was because of both of those things. So I looked into it a little bit more, and I read a piece on the Los Angeles Times, and they think that he's going to be back up soon. So, and this is, and I quote, he wasn't scheduled to pitch again before next week's All-Star break, meaning the Dodgers can carry an extra reliever in the meantime. Of course, you already talked about calling up Ricky Vanasco in a corresponding move. So he was going to not make another start just based on the schedule, and he can be called back up as soon as July 25th. So I think it's almost a little bit of a way to just manage his innings, give him a little bit of a breather, just go down there, and he is projected to be called up back on July 25th. Of course, things can change, but it does seem, because he's not going to start, Dodgers can carry another reliever anyway, give him a breather, and then call him back up in a couple of weeks. But just the pitcher himself, I mean, the fastball velocity, 99 miles an hour he averaged last year, down to 97.5. Sinker velocity down 2 miles an hour from 98.8 last year to 96.9 this year. His changeup has been phenomenal this year, and it's hard to say that when he's got an 8 ERA, but opponents are only hitting 111 against that pitch. It's his other pitches. Opponents are hitting over 400 against his curveball, his slider, and his sinker. And when you look at the scatter plots, or you just watch him pitch, he didn't look like he had any idea where the ball was going, and his velocity was down. So he was forced to go back in the middle of the zone. That's why you can see a lot of four-seamers, his fastballs, the scatter plot, it's right in the middle. And then all of his breaking balls, scatter plot is all over because he wasn't able to locate it correctly. So factor in a lot of different things. Of course, I think the shoulder was the major problem with a guy like that. You see velocity dip, you see command overall dip, you even see control, which command of the strike zone versus just general control. He didn't have either of them.
Right.
And guys can hit a bullet. Doesn't matter how hard you throw, right? If you're not commanding within the strike zone with the quality of stuff that he normally has, you're going to get beat. So hopefully these next few weeks, give him a breather, comes back up, throwing fuel like we know he can.
I'm looking at his year by year in pro ball. He threw 56 and a third innings in 2021, first year out of Louisville. He was 2 walks per 9, 2.1. He walked 13 in 56 and a third innings. 2022, 112 innings. He walked 3 hitters per 9. 2023 with the Dodgers last year, 124 innings, 2.3 walks per 9. And this year, you look at 2 starts in Rancho, 6 and a third, he walked 3. 8 and 2/3, he walked 5 in OKC. And in 29 innings in the big leagues, he walked 18 guys. Like, that's 5.5. So there's something that's not right. Like, control is not right. And I'm with you. Like, command, not there right now, which is why opponents are hitting 306 against a guy that throws upper 90s and consistently grabs 100 when he's right. And the control's not there, which is why guys have a 400 OBP against him right now. So it's just a matter of getting right. I know Walker really took a blow, and he kind of talked about that. It was like, we've explored the idea of me kind of just taking a blow and a reset, that kind of thing. I feel like this is a version of the blow or the reset that Walker is going through right now that Bobby Miller is experiencing.
100%. And it comes at a difficult time for the Dodgers in general because they're getting low on pitching here, right? Kershaw's not back. Bueller's not back. Yamamoto is still on the shelf. They have
Sheehan's on the shelf for the rest of the year. Like
we could go through their entire IL rotation.
a lot of Ryan Yarbrough innings coming up.
Oh, have you seen how many innings he's thrown already this year?
Yeah.
I was making fun of my Dodger friends, even though he's been actually good. I'm more just poking fun at them. I was like, how could you be elite when you got 60 of your innings in 3 months from Ryan Yarbrough? But that's more the Dodgers are as good as they are because they can find a guy like Ryan Yarbrough who puts up a mid-3, but I'm more just making fun of my biased Dodger friends and just throwing a name out there that historically has been very good. But that's just a testament to the Dodgers that they are able to fill innings with a guy like Yarbrough and be successful in doing so.
Yeah, man. And I read that 5-part series on The Athletic, Missing Bats. And I think Ryan Yarbrough was the final piece of that. He was like piece number 5 of the 5-piece series, or part number 5 of the 5-part piece. So I thought that was very funny. But yeah, I mean, more innings for Ryan Yarbrough, and Alex Vesia is going to turn into a 5 and dive guy, I'm sure, because Vesia has been awesome. And this might not be the last time. This might not be the last time we talk about Alex Vesia on today's show. We'll see what happens.
Daniel Hudson, dog. Blake Trinan, dog. Evan Phillips, dog. Like they have 4 really good guys in that pen.
You know that kid, I know you know the viral video of that football player that was like naming all of his teammates. That's where that came from. Dog.
Oh, was that a Oh, no, I think we're talking about I thought you were talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown naming every wide receiver taken before him. I'm thinking we're thinking of
Oh, no. I'm talking about a high school football player that was just naming like every player on his offense. It was like Sir Hale, dog. Like that kind. You don't remember that video? You do.
I must, because that's where it came
what
from
you did.
initially, but I don't actually remember seeing the video, but clearly I have.
So I'm sure a lot of people listening remember that video. That kid went to Bishop Luers High School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He did that in Fort Wayne when I was in Fort Wayne. And I was like, oh, this kid's like a local celebrity. He should come out to the ballpark.
Shout out the Middle East of America.
No, the Midwest. The Midwest, Peter. You made that mistake in 21. I thought we weren't going to get back to it.
No, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake on everybody in America calling the Middle Eastern part of the United States the Midwest. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I think the other name was already taken. But I want to jump to Tampa here. There was an article that came out that I found fascinating. Christy Ackert wrote it, the Tampa Bay Times. The headline is Rays tried, but Aaron Judge couldn't imagine joining Yankees rival. The subheading is when the slugger hit the free agent market in the fall of 2022, the Rays reached out, making what Judge called a, quote, respectful offer. There was in the article a report that it was about a 10-year, $300 million deal that Tampa extended to Aaron Judge. Now he signed what, 9 for $360?
9 for $360. Where are the Rays going to get $300 million from?
So
what if they pull a Dodgers and just
every
throw it
major
off
league
till
baseball
28?
team, you could. Every major league baseball team, I think, has the money to pay somebody like that.
Are we sure?
I don't. Again, I haven't seen the financials. I haven't seen the spreadsheets.
If you aren't right, there's a massive problem.
I think there's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. If you can't escalate payroll and like turn a profit, I don't think these owners are losing money, to be totally honest with you.
Of course not. None of them. They all make so much money and they cry poor little bitches.
Yeah. And you could point to the RSN, like you don't know the RSN uncertainty, regional sports network uncertainty on the TV side. There's going to be some sort of bidding war down the line, whether it's Amazon or Apple TV that gets involved. Like somebody's going to bid a lot for Major League Baseball on television, and that's going to give a lot of money back to owners that can in turn pay players, but they got to say they're not turning a profit, whatever. I just found this fascinating because A, the Rays entertained a big time offer. B, there have been 2 guys externally, like not on the Tampa Bay Rays, that we have heard the Rays be heavily involved in. Aaron Judge and Freddie Freeman. That's a fascinating duo because they both look like they're ticketed for Cooperstown. Judge still has a way to go, but I read Jason Stark's article and I thought it was awesome about guys that are on the Hall of Fame track, and he believes that Freddie Freeman is already in the Hall of Fame, and I'm with him.
Oh, yeah, me too. He's going to be a first ballot guy, I think.
Yeah, but Freddie also hasn't slowed down whatsoever in his stint in LA. Like Freddie has arguably leveled up with the Dodgers.
Yeah, I might want to take back that take I just said. Is he going to
First
be
ballot.
first ballot? We'll go in that more depth. I don't stand by those comments, but I think them.
But think about that. So like this guy we knew was getting older, but LA paid him a ton of money and he's effectively leveled up. Judge broke Maris's home run record and effectively leveled up when he's on the field. They're IDing the two right guys. And I know in hindsight, you can be like, oh, no shit, they were in on those guys. Like, of course they were impervious to slump. I don't know, man. There
Those
are
are
a
only
lot of
two.
those. Yeah,
Only two.
those Mookie Betts too, after he signed his deal.
He's
And
great.
we'll see how Otani ages too. But like everybody else, man, I found it fascinating that they were really only floated on Freddie Freeman and Aaron Judge.
You know, my galaxy brain came to a conclusion after reading that same article
What?
that no matter what front office you are, whether you're AJ Preller, psycho man over there, whether you're Farhan Zaidi in San Francisco, or whether you're over in Tampa, whatever kind of front office you have, you value Aaron Judge at the pinnacle. Might be Shohei as well. And then Freddie Freeman is right up there as well. And in my galaxy brain, that said, no matter the front office, they think that Aaron Judge is a first ballot Hall of Fame level talent. Like it doesn't matter what numbers you're looking at, whether it's the Rays' secret numbers where they get to pay guys $5 and they put up a 3-win season, or in San Diego where they give you $700 million and you put up a 3-win season.
Or Atlanta's where they pay you $9 million spread over 9 years and you give them 5-win seasons.
And half of that 9 million go to the Atlanta Foundation.
Yeah, the Braves Foundation.
The
Yeah.
Braves Foundation. No matter what, there are a couple of players that every front office just understands are different. Aaron Judge is at the top of that list. So is Freddie Freeman, and so is Shohei Otani. And it seems obvious, but there are plenty of other incredible players in Major League Baseball who have not gotten that totality of respect from no matter the front office. The Rays were willing to give the man $300 million. When have you ever heard that sentence in the history of the Tampa Bay Rays?
We've talked about it. I think Aram and I have talked about it, where the stigma of don't trade with the Rays is kind of going away. Like they're
No matter, they could mess up the next 15 trades and I will still just inherently believe that, even if the data doesn't support it.
I totally understand that, but I think that idea is not a hard and fast rule anymore.
Correct.
Where a lot of people around baseball were like, "Oh, they're going to fleece you. They know something that you don't." Maybe they don't. Maybe they just operate at a high percentage. I will say, if I ever hear that a free agent is in talks with the Rays or the Rays are very in on a free agent, I mean, they don't show their hand like that very often at all. And they knew something about Eflin. And I'm not saying they knew anything about Freeman or Judge because everybody knew everything there was to know about Freeman and Judge. But the fact that they deemed it sustainable over the course of a contract, because I think they are one of the very few teams in Major League Baseball that will not pay for dead years.
No,
They're not going to pay for dead years on the back end.
no,
That
they're
is
going to
how
load
a
up.
lot of these free agent deals are won
Yeah,
by dead years on the back end.
They're going to load up the years on the back end and then trade you once you actually get to the back end.
But like they were never going to be involved for a Xander Bogaerts or a Trey Turner. And you could say, yeah, for sure, personnel wise, but like those guys were looking for a deal to take them to 40, where they're going to be projecting a shell of themselves for the final 4 years of that contract, right? They're not interested in those guys. Like they're interested in guys that are going to be good from the starting gun to crossing the finish line. And they believed that Freeman was going to be that good over 6 years. And I bet they believed that Judge was going to be that good for the next 10.
I wonder if they're going to be in the Soto sweepstakes. I wonder if it's just going to be too much money.
I don't know. I'm excited to hear if the
Yeah.
Rays ever entertained getting involved in the Soto sweepstakes.
100%.
Because like again, they saved their bullets for the right guys.
Yeah.
And they've fired 2 bullets at this point. And they're 2 right guys.
Good for them. You know, they clearly understand, and I think it just gives more credence to Freddie and Judge that every single front office was willing to give these 2 guys kind of whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Kind of no matter what. That's what every front office kind of thinks now about these two guys. So just remember that.
For sure. You've got a note on the Tigers that you want to share with us.
Yeah, so I saw a tweet that kind of blew
Load.
my mind. And I want to pull it up real quick just to make sure I'm giving this guy credit. So this comes from Justin Spiro. You can find him at Darko State News. He came out with a tweet: Tigers are $60 million below average in payroll. So the average payroll, they're 60 million below that. And 44% of that current Detroit Tigers payroll is being taken up by Javier Baez, who has the lowest OPS in all of Major League Baseball, Kenta Maeda, who has the highest ERA in all of Major League Baseball, and Miguel Cabrera, who is currently retired, who represents 44% of the payroll, like I said. So that in itself was already crazy. But it's so funny. As soon as I saw that tweet, I then saw a video, and it comes to us from Per 97.1 The Ticket. It's a Detroit radio station. I thought these guys broke it down beautifully. And this is going to hurt to hear if you're a Tigers fan. So I just kind of want to reiterate what they were saying, because I think it's important to tell, a national audience, if you already listened to it on that radio station, just disregard. But the Tigers, when they score one run, their record is 43-39 this year. What? I'm going to say that again. When they score one run, they are 43-39, 4 games above 500. When they score 2 runs in a game, just 2, they're 41-26. That's a 99 win pace. Did you know that?
No,
If they
I
scored
didn't.
2 runs, 41-26. And these guys were saying they were really complaining about their front office, because clearly you look at where money is being allocated and you look at the talent on the field. And we also know that the Tigers, the window was opening, and whether you agree or disagree with them making big signings, they did end up signing Mark Canha and Gio Urshela. We're making about $12.5 million. What they were saying was, how can we trust a front office that passed on Wyatt Langford and then could have signed Matt Chapman for maybe a little bit more than those two guys? Langford would then be in your outfield, and Matt Chapman would be at your third base position, and then you have Riley Green, and that's a much better team. And I totally understood where they were coming from, but I also think that's really tough to just say that was going to happen for you. That Wyatt Langford, if he was drafted by the Tigers instead of the Rangers, would be putting up these exact offensive numbers. And also that Matt Chapman would want to sign for a price tag at that rate with the Detroit Tigers. So, but at the same time, I wanted to bring it up because those guys obviously know Tigers baseball. Those stats were shocking. And we have given Scott Harris some credit, but it's hard to look at that, listen to these guys talk, look at this data and say that they're on the right track right now, or at least their past moves have not been ideal whatsoever.
So my rebuttal to the Wyatt Langford take is Langford was going to command full slot. Max Clark got about $600,000 under slot, and they used those savings on Kevin McGonigal, who is a consensus top 100 prospect in baseball. So instead of Wyatt Langford, you got 2 top 100 prospects in baseball and consensus top 100 prospects in baseball, and maybe going into 2025, 2 consensus top 50 prospects in baseball. That's how high I am, and I know Aram is, on a Kevin McGonigal. He is so advanced. So I don't think it's fair to say, oh, they passed on this guy in the draft when they shouldn't have done that. Could that have helped the big league team in 2024? Yeah. But guess what? The draft is played like using bonus pool, and it's played throughout 10 rounds. And like there are I don't know, you're playing chess in the draft. And I think it's really hard to say, oh, you passed on this guy when you shouldn't have passed on this guy. I understand. And that might look like a big time flop if Clark doesn't work out. But using those savings to go get McGonigal, I think they did well. I'm not saying it's the right choice. I would have gone Langford. I would have just paid the full slot. But man, like they made a choice that I think is kind of smart. So I don't think that's a fair thing. That is a,
I just have one more thing to add to. Scott Harris didn't sign Javier Baez also.
No. No,
Yeah,
Al
so
Avila signed Javier Baez, and then Al Avila got canned.
exactly. And I think Tigers fans would pay Miguel Cabrera $8 million no matter what for the rest of his life, just because of what
Absolutely.
he's done for the city of Detroit. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to bring these up to start a conversation, but you are 100% right. And I appreciated where those guys on the radio were coming from. They
For sure.
clearly know Tigers baseball. I just think it was a little bit too, not emotional, but just remembering that it doesn't exactly work like that, like you were saying.
Welcome to local radio. Like
But I
that's
love local radio. Like
I
that's some of
grew up
my
with local
favorite.
radio,
Yeah, I
man.
love
Like
local radio.
again, I've got family in local radio. I know local radio. I love local radio, but that's what local radio is, man. You get very, very passionate about what's around you. Because like you care and your job is awesome when they're awesome. And they really want to see the Detroit Tigers be really good. And I can really appreciate that. Al Avila might have left Scott Harris the worst situation in Major League Baseball.
One of them for sure.
It was a plate of hot garbage. And I'm not talking about the garbage plate in Rochester, but like it was hot garbage when Scott Harris took over. And the fact that, he's been able to flip it into a commendable product. And I know, oh, Jack, like Al Avila took Scooble, Al Avila took my. I hear you. I hear you on that. But,
Did
you
you
can
say
hit on
mice?
Scooble and still give him. Yeah, I did say
Yeah,
mice.
yeah, you did.
He took Riley Green. How about that, man?
There we
You
go.
happy
There
with
we go.
that?
I'm happy with that.
I think Scott Harris has done a good job improving the shit hand that he was dealt.
Definitely. Not perfect, but he's doing the best that he can.
No.
I think he's doing a fine job for what he was given. Right? If you're given a 7-2 in
Yeah.
poker and you don't fold immediately, and let's say you bluff a little bit and
Can't do much with it.
yeah, it's just, I mean, what am I supposed to do with a 7 and a 2? Hope a 7 pair comes up. Hopefully I get a 2 pair. You're just kind of sit and duck at that point. You got to try your best. And he paired up. He paired up with a 2. It's not going to help him that much, but hey, he's got a pair and he's going to the table. And
Yeah,
Al Avila, he didn't have shit. He had 2 jokers of cards and was just like, here you go. Try and win a hand with this.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, but yeah, Scott Harris has bettered the situation at this point, and give him time.
All the BetMGM supporters, all the gamblers that will listen to this show, they understand that reference.
Understood. Got you. The number that jumps out to me is 9 shutouts already. Like 9 shutout losses before the All-Star break.
That's
oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. That's what I couldn't believe 2 runs they would be 41 and 26. I couldn't believe that.
How many shutout losses do you think the White Sox have at this point? I'm going to go tally right now. I'm going to sort.
Well, we going to talk about something that ruined your agenda forever?
What?
Michael Kopech's immaculate inning?
12 shutout losses, by the way. 12. Which is crazy.
That just crushed your Michael Kopech agenda forever. I don't know if anybody listening is going to take your opinions at face value anymore after Kopech.
All right, quick break. Draft next, quick break. No, I mean, congrats to Michael Kopech on the immaculate inning. I saw a funny tweet that was like, it's the Boris, like it's the Boris blessing, right? He signs Boris, he immediately throws an immaculate inning. We're good.
I could just imagine Boris and in negotiations with the GM, and the GM is bringing up a lot of runs or a lot
immaculate.
of Kopech, through 18 straight fastballs, and he got absolutely crushed. He's got a 7 ERA, and the fastball velo is good. And Boris just writes something on a favor,
July 10th, 2024. Cue up the video.
Just slides the paper over, and the GM turns it over. Immaculate. And then the guy goes, "You're right." And then that GM and Scott Boras kiss, and Kopech gets $100 million.
Yeah, we'll give him 4 years, $110 million.
Boras likes to pretend that his whole thing is money, and he understands the market better than anybody else. I don't know. I think it's just a sly piece of paper saying immaculate, and some GMs just buy in. You know what? I'm done with the segment.
Isn't that the new Sydney Sweeney horror movie, Immaculate?
Yeah, we got to move on to this draft.
Okay.
I dug myself into a hole that I don't know how to dig myself out of.
Fair. Not draft. I have trade rumors yet. And here's what I want to do. We're playing a game. Okay. I am going to throw you quick little trade rumors, and you give them a rating 1 through 10 on how much they fire you up, like how intrigued you are.
Oh, well, that's not fair. If you put fire me up, they're all going to be 10. All of them are going to fire me up. You know
really?
me.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Okay.
Be
okay.
Simon. Don't be Randy Jackson. Be Simon, okay?
I'm gonna calm down for a little bit. I'm good.
Yeah, I need you to be a bit measured, and I don't need like a "it's a no from me" dog. Like I need actual harsh criticism, and I need a tough scale.
This is not local radio Peter talking. This is graduated with sport management and wish I did journalism Peter talking to you.
Okay, got you.
That's a smart Peter you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, fair. Rumor number one. Paul Zeiss, who's the evening host at 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. I don't know how valid this is. I didn't see like a National Insider or anything report this. But Taylor Ward to the Pirates is getting close, and people were running with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll say 7. That's a strong 7.
Yeah.
You have an outfield now. You go Ward, Reynolds, Sawinski, Michael A. Taylor. That's an outfield.
It's tough.
I like Taylor Ward a lot. I think that would be a good addition for the Pirates. I'm going to go 7 there. I'd be excited to see that come across the ticker.
I'm not buying it until I see someone on the beat confirm it. And I think the Pirates sneaky have one of the better beats in all of baseball. Alex Stumpf of MLB.com, 2 guys at the Post-Gazette, Noah Hiles, Andrew Destin, and among others. I think that is an excellent, excellent beat, but I'm waiting for them to confirm that to like actually get me fired up about that. This one from Ken Rosenthal. The Nats are prepared to be sellers.
Makes all the sense in the world.
So 3,
so,
2.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3 is a perfect one. Honestly,
that makes
1.
That makes Williams 1.
Yeah,
Williams,
1.
Irvin, Finnegan, Harvey, Floro, all on the market.
I was gonna say Meneses too, but they just sent him down to the minor leagues.
They optioned him. Yeah.
Not good.
Yepes. Could they get anything for Yepes? We'll see.
Winker.
Sure.
Lane Thomas would be an actual get for any team.
Yeah, I think they should hold on to Jacob Young. I don't think they should move him, especially with how much control. Like, I think they should hold on to him.
Sneaky, one of the better 9 hitters in Major League Baseball. I swear to you, whenever I'm turning on a Nationals game, he's doing something. He's just he's such a little goblin. That's how I like to describe when he's on the field. He's a goblin. Like he's just like
scrappy.
He's gonna steal second, and he's not gonna steal it super easily, but he's right under the tag. He's right on the tag. He's making good defensive plays. Like he's just a grinder. He's a little goblin out there, and I like him. I'm a Jacob Young guy.
Fair. He's the Aaron Kraft of the Washington Nationals. You hate him if he's not on your team. You love him if he's on yours.
Exactly. Just a grinder.
I love it. Next one from Craig Mish, and we already kind of floated this. There's growing belief that the Marlins will move Jazz Chisholm.
1. That is the most obvious thing in the history of anything.
Okay, fair. Moving on. Robert Murray. Carlos Estevez. The Angels are gauging interest on him.
What the fuck do they mean gauging interest? Trade him tomorrow. You're going to get actual assets for a closer who's having a great first half. What are we doing? This is logical. Gauging interest. Give me a break, Perry Manassian and the ownership. I'm forgetting his name.
Artie Moreno.
Moreno.
It's kind of good. Out of sight, out of mind, though, with the owner's name. I love that.
I'm trying to, but what the hell do you even mean gauging interest? I'm putting that at a -1.
Okay, fine. Last one. Will Salmon, Katie Wu, Patrick Mooney, all at The Athletic, kind of joint reporting that the Rockies are going to listen on pretty much everybody not named Ryan McMahon or the valuable pieces. So the 2 notable ones, Austin Gomber, Cal Quantrill.
Well, Quantrill's a 10 because he's going to win somebody World Series. What? So they're not listening on Ryan McMahon?
Apparently not.
Rockies? What do you mean not listening? If someone was like, we're going to give you our top prospect in the system for Ryan McMahon, they say, no, we're not listening for him.
Because he's their Jacob. He's scrappy.
That's why I never understood GMs. I understand that it's, you got to put something in the media to, help somebody's value that you're quote unquote not listening. I get it. But if I'm a GM, I am listening on every single player in my organization at all times. If you give me an offer where I see value in it, I'm going to take it.
Well, you're listening on Ellie De La Cruz.
These are untradables. I've always thought that was stupid.
You remember when you were listening on Ellie De La Cruz in March?
I would still listen, right? If the Orioles, for whatever reason, offered their top 5 prospects in the system for Ellie De La Cruz, would you do it? Of course you would. So what are we talking about here? Stop. If they said, I will give you Jackson Holiday, Kobe Mayo, Jordan Westbrook, Basayo for Ellie, you'd say no? Of course you'd say yes. That's why I've always said, like, it does sound crazy coming out of my mouth because nobody else agrees with me across all media. But I am saying that anybody should be listened to for any player in the right deal. Now, would you trade Ellie for anything less than that? No. But
Right.
if they
And
offered,
and would Baltimore in their right mind ever offer that? No.
no. But
Not 50% of that.
just to say no, I wouldn't do that if I was a GM. I'm just saying.
Okay, fair. All right, we're going to get to this pitcher draft, this non-all-star pitcher draft. But before that, quick break. All right, here's how we're going to do this thing. Non-all-star pitchers. So nobody that was named to either the American League or the National League all-star team. We are going to snake draft. 5 starting pitchers, 4 relief pitchers. Okay? It's kind of simple. It's just who builds the best staff of non-all-stars. Fair? And there are going to be some repeat names from like our snub episode where it's like, oh yeah, like no shit, Renel Blanco is going to go in this. Right?
Yes.
But I mean, you're going to hear that repeat, but I think this is a good chance to kind of shed some more light on snubs from the snubs. You know what I mean?
And it also, we're drafting, like, could I draft Garrett Cole with my number 1 overall pick because he's the best pitcher that wasn't an all-star? Sure, but it's not about that. It's about this front half of the MLB season. So we're not talking about, the best pitchers. Like, we're not drafting Sandy from the Marlins because he didn't pitch this year, but he's more talented than some of the guys we're going to name. So these are the best front halves from pitchers who didn't end up being in the All-Star game. Now, if some pitchers get hurt and these guys end up actually getting into the All-Star game, sorry, we're doing it on Wednesday, July 10th, and this is just up to this point. So none of these pitchers have been named as alternates as we're speaking right now. If that changes, maybe delete the podcast from your listening, right? I don't know.
Go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying here. It's just the best front halves, and we're going to have 5 starters, 4 bullpen arms, and I'm going to win again.
Okay, that's fine. We're all about drafting right now, which is
I love
interesting.
drafting.
Snake it. And who picked first last time?
I did, and I got Aaron Judge.
That's right. Do we want to ask Siri heads or tails again?
No, you go first. Go first this time. We're doing drafts so much that we could do this. That I went first last time. You go first this time.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Renel Blanco is my number 1 pick. He's second in all of baseball in batting average against. Renel Blanco has a low to mid 2s ERA. I'm not worried about this pick at all. He's the best non-all-star we've got.
I agree with you. And I think the second best all-star pitcher after Renel Blanco would be Christopher Sanchez of the Philadelphia Phillies. 2.96 ERA, 3.0 F4, 2.59 FIP. Dude is rocking a 60.2% ground ball rate, which is in the 97th percentile of Major League Baseball. He's got an ERA under 1.4 at home. At the bank. Christopher Sanchez, welcome to Peter's team. My next pick, give me Gavin Stone. I think Gavin Stone has been great this year. 3.03 ERA. I know both of them are facing each other after you'll hear this episode, so maybe these stats will change. But for right now, I'm going Gavin Stone. 3.03 ERA, 1.7 F4, 3.52 FIP. Has been a godsend for this Dodgers team that we already talked about with Bobby Miller going down, with so many injuries to this team. They've been able to plug Gavin Stone in there, and they say, give me 5 or 6 innings. And in those 5 or 6 innings, he's been fantastic. So that would be my next pick.
I love that this guy just fell to me. Joe Ryan is my next pick. Joe Ryan of the Minnesota Twins. I know he was high up on your big board. I know he was going to probably be the next guy that you went to.
Maybe
Joe
not next,
Ryan,
but he's up there. He's up there.
Joe Ryan at this point, and like I know that he ran into some blow-up starts last year after he started so well. So far this year, 18 starts, a 3.29 ERA, 109 innings already. This guy is walking 1.3 hitters per 9. Joe Ryan has punched 118 guys. He's walked 16 guys. And opponents are slashing 218, 253, 400 against him. That's a 653 OPS. We'll gladly take Joe Ryan.
Banger of a pick. You're still up,
Thank
though.
you. I am still up. And this is where it's tough because, like, I'll be honest, part of me went to Luis Heel.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, am I going to do this? I'm torn between 2 guys right now. and I just need to do one more look at both of them. 18 starts at a 3.4, and my other guy is 19 starts at a 3.4.
Take the guy more starts at a 3-4.
For what he's done, give me Mitch Keller, the Pirates.
Love it on my big board as well.
So Mitch Keller, 111 and a third innings in 18 starts, more innings than George Kirby with one fewer start. Mitch Keller already at 10 wins. He's 10-5. Wins matter, people, with a 3.4 ERA, 111 innings, 102 punch-outs, 27 walks. He's got a complete game under his belt this year. He is always throwing deep into games. Give me the cat, man.
I think it's a good one. But I think I'm going to have two better picks right here. Give me George Kirby. You just mentioned him. 3.39 ERA, but a 2.88 FIP. You know why? Because he doesn't walk a soul ever. He has less walks than Ryan Stanek in their own bullpen. I just wanted to mention that. I've always thought that was weird because Ryan Stanek is he's not known for being wild. And he's been a good reliever for the Mariners. And he's thrown about 40 innings and he has 12 walks. George Kirby has less in 112 innings. I just think that's amazing. And he's also put up a 3.0 F4. My next pick. This guy's fell completely under the radar this year and is still putting up a good season, not quite to the level of All-Star, but damn it, give me Max Fried. 3.18 ERA, 3.49 FIP, 1.8 F4. He's had a couple of blow-ups, but before that start, where he gave up 11 hits and 5 earned runs, this guy was rocking an ERA below 3, and it just went up to 3.18. He's almost thrown 100 innings. I think he's been fantastic overall. Super high ground ball rate, doesn't walk anybody, plenty of strikeouts. It's still Max Fried. Give me Max Fried.
Okay. Greg Berhalter out. I got the notification. The U.S. men's national team soccer coach. I'm backflips. Fired up.
That's huge for anyone who gives a shit.
I think people care. So how about that? You just heard it at 6:08 p.m. Greg Berhalter out, sacked as manager of the U.S. men's national team.
Couldn't point him out of a lineup.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to do it. Eric Fetty.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. It's been awesome.
He's been awesome. Eric Fetty at this point, 18 starts, a 3.13. I mean, wow, man. He had a 2.99 going into his last start?
No, he's got a 2.99 ERA now after that start against the Twins. And that's a hot offense that he did that against.
Oh, Baseball Reference hasn't updated yet. That's actually a huge win for me. All right.
No, yeah. Now he's at 2.99. He's got an F4 in the mid to high 2s, and he's got good ass numbers. This guy unlocked special powers in the KBO. Comes over here and just dominates. Shout out Eric Fetty. It's one of the coolest stories of the year.
111 and a third innings, a 2.99 ERA, 227 batting average against, a whip at 1.13.
You know why I didn't pick him there? Because I was going to pick him instead of Max Fried, but I thought that your annoyance with the White Sox would let him just fall to me, but he didn't, and you got him.
No, he's not going to slip, man. I know that your annoyance with the Yankees is going to let a guy get to me, so I'm going to keep him on the board. Sonny Gray is my next pick. And I know that Sonny missed some time, but Sonny Gray has been so good when he's been on the hill for St. Louis. And I know that he just had, kind of a rough start, 5 innings, 5 earned, but before that, Gray was nails. And through 16 starts, he's got a 3.3 ERA. He's punched out 115, walked 24, 11 strikeouts per 9, 2.5 walks per 9. And opponents, if I have this, they're hitting 211 against Sonny Gray. You think about how good his year was last year. Opponents hit 226 against him. They're hitting 211. Like, he's figuring out a way to miss more bats and induce more soft contact. So fire me up on that.
I think I only have one pick left, correct? Because I already have
a starter.
Yeah, in my rotation right now, I have Christopher Sanchez, Gavin Stone, Max Fried, and George Kirby. And I'm debating between 3 people. Because you left me with Brady Singer, who's got a 2.93. You left me with Andrew Abbott, who's got a 3.06, and you left me with Luis Heel, who's got a 3.27. In terms of F4, Luis Heel has the highest one. He's got a 3.27, but Singer's 2.93. You know what? I'm a Yankee biased homer bitch. Give me Luis Heel. I'll take Luis Gil as my fifth starter because he has been absolutely electric for the Yankees. And if it wasn't for a past couple of 3 starts, really it was just 2, dominated on Sunday Night Baseball against the Red Sox, he would be the easy front runner for American League Rookie of the Year. I mean, of course, Wyatt Langford is terrorizing baseball right now, but it would be them two. But the struggles lately have hurt Gil's chances. But still, he has been so important for a Yankees rotation. So I'm not letting him go undrafted.
I thought that was an awesome pick.
But I want to
Snubs.
shout out Singer and
Yeah.
Abbott because they were on my big board and I just didn't pick them, but I think they're awesome.
Starting pitchers that were left on my big board: Singer, Abbott, Tanner Bybee,
Yep.
Jack Flaherty,
Yep.
Mackenzie Gore.
Yep.
And that's it.
Jake Irvin got added, right?
Has Irvin been added yet?
I thought I saw something that he got added because if he didn't, we made a mistake not drafting Jake Irvin. It was 3-1-3. I also had Reese Olson on my big board. He's been so good. 3.22 ERA, 2.4 F4 for the Detroit Tigers. And that was my entire starter big board. The only reason I didn't put Jake Irvin is I thought he got added to an All-Star game. That might have been our fault, Nationals fans. I'm sorry. He should have gotten drafted.
No, he did not. Yeah.
My
He
bad,
did not.
Nationals
But
fans.
he went undrafted. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. He also was coming off a tough start against the Mets. So
yeah, we stay on you, snaking. Your first reliever.
My first reliever. Oh, this is so tough, but I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going Trevor McGill of the Milwaukee Brewers in my bullpen. 1.53 ERA, 18 saves. I just think he has been so important for the Brewers without Devin Williams. How they could just slot in a 6-foot. I don't know how tall he is exactly, but he looks enormous. He's got to be 6'6" or something like that, just blowing fuel by dudes and looks so hard to hit. I'm taking Trevor McGill.
I think he's 6'8".
Is he? I mean, he looks enormous. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's 6'8", 250.
Jesus, a Tonka truck of a man.
Pretty much.
Just an absolute
all right.
ambulance of a person.
Ambulance. I've got 2 pitchers here, 2 relievers. I go to Hunter Gaddis of the Cleveland Guardians.
Yep.
And Ryan Walker of the San Francisco Giants. Those are the 2.
Ryan Walker, even
just
after
because I've been the champion of that. I've been the champion of that for a long time at this point, and I'm going to stay on that, and I'll die with that.
Question for you: can you give up home runs to Ernie Clement, a 3-run home run, and still be drafted in this draft?
Yes,
because he did do that against the Blue Jays.
I know he did. And that is not a good look, but I am still taking Ryan Walker. Hunter Gaddis, 43 1/3 innings, a 1.25 ERA. He is tied for the second highest F4 among all relievers. Mason Miller here, and then Hoffman, Strom, Gaddis right below. Miller at a 1.6, Hoffman, Strom, Gaddis at a 1.5. And Ryan Walker, 47 innings, a 2.49 ERA. I get it. He's punching out 11.5 per 9. He's walking fewer than 2 per 9. And that is just like, I mean, in practice, that is so hard to try and pick up. When you watch him throw on TV, it's like, how does anybody hit that? Especially when it's 95 and then that sweepy as shit slider off of that. Crazy.
I love Camilo Doval. Everybody on this podcast knows, as soon as I first laid eyes on that man, I thought to myself, that's the next best closer in baseball. Just as soon as I saw that live arm, the fastball and the slider, I thought, all right, nobody's ever going to hit him. Ryan Walker, when you watch Giants games, looks harder to hit than Camilo Doval.
Yeah.
Not saying that one of them is better than the other, but I'm saying, like, if I were a hitter, my high school acumen, it seems like Ryan Walker would be tougher because it's so much movement. It's coming at you from such a funky angle, and he's throwing it wherever he wants, which is not something you could say about most relievers. So I love Ryan Walker, but you bombed the pick because you just left me with Andres Munoz, the closer for the Mariners, who is right up there with Trevor McGill in terms of snubs. I mean, right? Like, would I rather have the guy who has a 0.2 difference in ERA or the guy who's actually closing the 9th inning, the hardest 3 outs to get in baseball, 1.50 ERA and 14 saves in 36 innings, should be in the All-Star team. I can continue here. So I can go a couple different directions. But I'm going to stick to my closer mentality here because I do think that is more impactful than guys coming in the 7th and the 8th. So I'm going to grab Kimbrel. I know it's crazy because I'm a Kimbrel hater, I guess. More just nervous about him moving forward, but got to give him his flowers when it's due. 2.10 ERA with 23 saves. I mean, he's 3rd in Major League Baseball in saves to Helsley and Class A, and then it's Kimbrel. And I know he's on the Orioles, but it's not like he's got 21 saves and he's got a 4 ERA, so he's just getting tons of opportunities. 2.10. Dude's been unbelievable. Now, when you watch those innings, they can scare you a little bit, but screw it.
Yeah.
The scoreboard's the scoreboard. I think Kimbrel deserves at least a nod here, so I will take Craig Kimbrel to join Trevor McGill and Andres Munoz, and I'm dominating you in the bullpen aspect of this draft.
Okay, so I am going to take, I think, the sleeper of this draft and the guy
Ryan
that is-
Yarbrough?
What? Yeah, Ryan Yarbrough, exactly. 140 innings already for Ryan Yarbrough, and he's got a
200 innings.
1.1.
Yeah.
He's thrown 400 innings already this year, and he has yet to allow an earned run. It's absolutely insane.
I haven't seen him give it up a base hit or a walk either.
He's sitting 73 miles an hour.
It's so funny because we are making fun of Ryan Yarbrough, but he has been objectively good. Like
He's been objectively good. Objectively good. Somehow it works. Somehow it worked in Tampa. If you go from Tampa to the Dodgers and you have success with both the Rays and the Dodgers, you're doing something right, even
How
if
could
it
we-
doesn't look traditionally right.
100%. How can we not buy into that?
I'm buying into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's like the 2 smartest people in the world both tell you that a math equation is correct. Are you going to believe them? Probably. I'm going to believe the Rays and the Dodgers.
So my 2 favorite yeah, I say that a lot, like prone to hyperbole, but Ryan Yarbrough, just his existence on the mound and how the arsenal works is very funny to me in terms of baseball. Like there are very few guys like on the field. I'm like, you're funny. Ryan Yarbrough is funny. Andrew Kittredge looks like he's going to fall backwards drunk every time he comes set. And I'm like, you're funny.
I would love to get a drink at a bar with Andrew Kittredge and Lance Lynn and just talk baseball.
I just
That
want to
would
see
be
what it looks like.
electric.
Like, so
Imagine
tell me
that.
about these holds, man.
Imagine that blunt rotation. I mean, that'd be unbelievable.
It'd be
That'd be
funny.
unbelievable. Are you kidding?
You left me Griffin Jacks.
Stud.
Griffin Jacks, 39 innings, 12 and a half strikeouts per nine, a 206 ERA, a 195 FIP. And he is third highest total of WAR because there are 3 guys at 1.5. So I guess he's top 5 in baseball or tied for 5th in baseball among relievers in WAR. He has been awesome. And Duran, I know Duran was out for the first couple weeks of the season. And I know, frankly, he's been more up and down than I was expecting him to be so far this year. Griffin Jacks has been a savior in that Minnesota bullpen. So give me Jacks.
That Twins back end, I'll take them against anybody, especially when they get Brock Stewart back. Jorge Alcala is a dog. Griffin Jacks is disgusting, and Yohan Duran is a god
Final
among
boss.
men when you look at his stuff. Now, I know he's been up and down this year. I don't care. Like, when the going gets tough, you want Duran closing the ninth.
Sure.
And then you add Brock Stewart to that. That is as good of a back end as any team in Major League Baseball, including the Cleveland Guardians. But now the rest of them, we'll see. But that back end is elite. And you said I left you Griffin Jacks. Kimbrel's a lower ERA and 23 saves. I didn't leave you shit.
Yeah, whatever.
But Griffin
all
Jacks is stud. Love the pick.
My last guy, torn between a couple, but I can't let Orion Kirkering go untouched. So he's my 4th and final reliever.
It's so funny. You went middle reliever guys instead of like elite closers who have an ERA similar to them.
I like holds.
No, I fuck with holds. And these guys in their roles have been so elite. Kirkering has been just unbelievable. I mean,
1-3.
Yeah, he's like one of those relievers that popped onto the scene and you see the slider once and you immediately say to yourself, oh, he gets that type of reaction from everybody.
Yeah, that's foul.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's just been dealing.
Yeah.
My last pick is really tough because I'm looking at 3 closers that I think have been absolutely fantastic. Kyle Finnegan with the Nationals, 2.17 ERA, 22 saves. Raisel Iglesias with the Braves, 2.08 ERA, 21 saves. And Kenley Jansen with the Boston Red Sox, 2.01 ERA with 18 saves. And I'm going to go right in the middle and take Raisel Iglesias of the Atlanta Braves. He's got a 208 ERA, again, lower than Kyle Finnegan, a little bit higher than Kenley Jansen, but he's got 3 more saves. And now that is a factor of the Braves being a little bit better than the Red Sox. But still, he's got 3 more saves, and his ERA is 0.07 off. Strikeouts are obviously there for everybody, so I'm gonna take I'll take Iglesias as my last pick.
So 2 guys that I really wanted to take: Jeremiah Estrada of the Padres
100%.
and Justin Martinez of the Diamondbacks. And I
Thank
know
you.
that you're high on Justin Martinez.
I was going to mention that. I'm so glad you did. Justin Martinez. If you ever see him, if you're searching on the MLB app, maybe you're watching a different game, please do me one favor this season. Do me one favor. Watch Justin Martinez pitch an inning for the Diamondbacks. Holy shit. Holy shit. I mean, my God, some of these relievers are absolutely amazing. I mean, this guy, I might post a TikTok later and just drool on what,
Justin
not even
Martinez?
analyze him, just drool on a video and just have the video speak for itself. This
You know
guy
what you should do?
102.
You should
What?
just do like a green screen thing, and you should make your face really small and just stare like 1,000-yard 1,000-yard stare off into the distance while he's just got flames coming from the green screen video.
And no sound either.
No
Just
sound.
white noise. Like, psh.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
The worst
That'd
video
be
of all
great.
time. I also, Taylor Scott of the Houston Astros. Dude saved this bullpen. Saved it. 1.44 ERA in 39 innings for an Astros bullpen that we know what happened to Hader. We've seen what happened to Presley. Now, Brian Abreu is still a man. Still the man. A man. He's still a dude. Taylor Scott deserves some love. Who else? Yeah, Justin Martinez. Yeah, it's basically what I had written down, and those closers as well. I mean, there's plenty of other good guys, but those are the guys I had on my big board.
Fair. That's what we got.
That'll do it. So make sure to get yourself some Just Baseball merch. We get new merch. Roll Pat's back in stock. Go check it out in the episode description. And the best way to support without spending a dime, and it only takes a few clicks, and we truly, 3 trulies appreciate it. Rating and reviewing 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm telling you, best way to help us out, as well as hitting that big red subscribe button. And we just had a big draft. Let us know. Did we miss anybody? Probably did. I know Nationals fans are pissed about Jake Irvin. I'm pissed about it too. And I apologize to all of you out there listening who are diehard Nats fans, some of the best fans that there are. Let us know. Who'd we miss?
I'd be pissed about Singer, to be honest.
Me too. Royals fans, I'm sorry. Brady Singer's been a dog.
I've been mean about the Royals the last couple of
Me
days.
Too. And I like them. I don't want. That's why it's sometimes tough doing a show, because like you have to be critical when things are needed to be. But we don't like to be critical. We just like to find under the radar guys and show you all how good they are. And we try our best to do that every day. So if you have enjoyed, again, rate and review, subscribe on YouTube. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow. And for anybody wondering, Arm is in London right now. He's across the pond. That's why he hasn't been on the show for the past couple of days, but he'll be back soon. And then we'll be right back and rolling with Arm Layton. But for Jack McMullen, and I am Peter Apple. Of course, we're going to see you tomorrow. And with that, thank you, everybody.